Over the last 19 years, I have been to a lot of great places and experienced much of the natural and cultural beauty the United States and Canada has to offer. Of course, the well-known places like national parks offer spectacular views, but they are often crowded with many other folks sharing the experience. These well-known destinations are of course worth visiting, but very often I have found the best experiences can be found at lesser-known hidden gems. For me, traveling by motorcycle or any other means is not just about pounding out the miles. It is also about finding great locations and even learning a thing or two along the way. It is easy to find motorcycles parked outside a local bar, but it is rare to find them visiting a museum or historical site. This video is about challenging you to be different, to take the road less traveled. Sometimes I find these hidden gems by happenstance or from talking to locals, but very often I stumble across them during my planning process. I start by picking a great road to ride, but I also look for cool things to see along the way. I then plan my day so that I have time to stop, explore, and maybe do some learning. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, many of the places I have found are not big name attractions. Rather, they are things like local museums and national monuments, which offer rich historical significance, but also many fewer people. Here are a few of the hidden gems I have enjoyed over the years. This first one is not an unknown spot. In fact, it is pretty famous, but still it is not frequently visited by motorcycle travelers. The Bethel Center for the Arts in Bethel, New York is near the historic location of the Woodstock Music and Art Festival, as well as the home of a great museum celebrating the event that took place from August 15th through the 18th in 1969. Even though I was only 10 at the time, I still remember the hubbub surrounding the concert, and more so the 1970 documentary film Woodstock. Of course, I also had the album and I played it over and over again during much of my formative years. The museum is a great place to visit and relive a time we will probably never see again. Another cool place to visit is the old Juliet State Prison in Juliet, Illinois. My buddy Kevin and I visited the grounds during the start of our Route 66 trip in 2022. While a bit expensive to take the self-guided tour, it was $20 at the time, we both thought it was well worth the cost to walk around the grounds and see how the incarcerated lived. Juliet State Prison operated from May of 1858 until 2002, when it was finally closed due to budgetary concerns. While there are a lot of interesting and often silly things to see while traveling Route 66, one that stands out for me is the Devil's Rope Museum in McLean, Texas. While a museum dedicated to barbed wire may not sound very interesting, the collection of devil's rope as well as ranching and fencing tools is quite extensive and very well presented. I think both Kevin and I found this stop fascinating and educational. During my 60th birthday trip in 2019, I found the Aztec Ruins National Monument in San Juan County, New Mexico. This Puebloan settlement was built and populated by the indigenous peoples of New Mexico from 1000 to 1200 AD. As I walked through this place, I was in awe of the fact that humans built these structures and shared their lives more than 1,000 years in the past. As with the Aztec Ruins, the Pecos National Historic Park is an ancient home of Puebloan people during the period from the 1100s to the 1300s. At its peak, the village housed more than 2,000 people. Later, the site was visited by Francisco de Coronado in 1540, and a Spanish mission was constructed on the site in 1619. Visiting the park today, you can walk through the remains of that mission. When people visit Utah, they of course want to go to the 5 national parks: Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Arches, and Canyonlands. And of course, they are spectacular. But a stop that is often missed is the Natural Bridges National Monument. The monument is located a short drive off Utah 95 and is well worth a stop with smaller crowds and up-close views of 3 spectacular natural bridges: Kachina, Owakachoma, and Sipapu. It is also the home of a very well-preserved Pueblo cliff dwelling, which can be viewed via a short hike from the main park road. This was one of my favorite stops during our 2022 adventure. As with the natural bridges, Mesa Falls, both upper and lower falls, are often overshadowed by their more popular rivals such as Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park. But while in the area, you should make a point to get off the main road, that is US 20, and take the Mesa Falls Scenic Byway, which follows Henry's Fork of the Snake River. Off of this route, you will find access to both the lower and upper Mesa Falls. Lower Falls is only visible from a pullout alongside the road, but you can access the spectacular Upper Falls via a short hike on a boardwalk that leads to the very top of the falls. It is spectacular. This next one is again something not done very often by motorcycle travelers. When I took the adventure cruise out of Prince Rupert, Canada, mine was the only bike in the hotel parking lot, and I was for sure the only motorcycle traveler on the cruise. As far as I am concerned, this is a shame, because even though the cost of the 7-hour tour runs about $300 US, it is well worth it for the up-close and personal access you get to grizzlies, whales, and bald eagles. This is one of those experiences I was so happy to have done rather than just put in more miles on the bike. Another spot I visited while on my way to Prince Rupert was Mount Robson. Even though this is the highest mountain in the Canadian Rockies at 9,760 feet or 2,975 meters, I had not heard of Mount Robson and I had no plans to stop along the way. Fortunately, I met a local and she told me I should definitely stop. Well, she was right on the money. There are, of course, many more hidden gems or lesser-known attractions that I could list, and I know I'm going to find more as I continue my travels. I think it is important for us to visit these places. We need them to help preserve the past, but also to learn from it. This land we call ours has been populated by other cultures for many centuries. Even 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, people were living lives and building communities in places we would not even think about doing so today. So here is my call to action for 2025 and beyond. I challenge you to try some of these things that are a little out of the norm for motorcycle riders. Find those hidden gems both near you and across the continent. Take the time to learn about history, both natural and man-made. Don't shy away from it, don't judge it, just learn from it. Now, of course, I'm sure you guys have found some hidden gems as well, so share them with all of us in the comments below. And if you like what we are doing on this channel and you're looking for some great riding gear made in the good old USA, check out AEROSTICH products by using the link in the description of this video or by visiting my website at livingofftheslab.com. Now, go out there and have a great 2025. Continue to ride safe, and of course, keep squeezing your lemon.